Ladies and gentlemen, we are entering our losers final today for the Wednesday locals here in the meta.
All right, so we started this late. Not quite sure which Pokemon they brought, so we'll see it when it starts.
It's all right. It'll be a new experience for us all. All right.
So John leads with the Grimmsnarl Gigalith here. And Sayo's leading with the Scrafty Duraludon.
Now, I believe this is the first time I've ever seen Gigalith here in VGC. I can't honestly say I know literally anything about this Pokemon.
So the Gigalith has Sandstream, but it's generally not seen as a Sandstream setter because it's not as good as Tyranitar.
It just happens to have it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So a reason you might want to bring it is if you're expecting your opponent to not know what it's going to do, not know its moveset, that kind of thing. I like the lead with Scrafty from Sayo here because you're pretty sure he's going to lead with his Sandstorm setter, because if you have a Sandstorm setter, it's probably a Sandstorm team that wants Sand, so you're pretty safe to bring the Intimidate Pokemon to lead.
Well, these two do have experience with each other from earlier in the night, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised they have leads based on their teams already. Here we see the Dynamax from the Duraludon. On whose side is this?
That's Sayo's Duraludon.
Sayo's side. All right. And then we also see, I'd imagine this is Gigalith, right?
Yeah. You're generally not going to Dynamax the Grimmsnarl, because all of the Dynamax moves on Grimmsnarl will be max guard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that.
Again, Grimmsnarl, another one of those prankster Pokemon, which makes...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Which makes status moves automatically go first, so you want to have a bunch of status moves on there. All
right, we see the fake out going on to Grimmsnarl. That is gonna help Sayo here on his side, and the KO on Grimmsnarl. That's a good start for Sayo here.
So when I said before that he might have brought the Intimidate because he knew that he was going to lead with the physical Sandstorm attacker, another good reason to lead with the Scrafty there is that Scrafty is going to be faster than Grimmsnarl. So if you think your opponent's going to have a fake out Grimmsnarl, you can lead with your fake out Scrafty, and then you get the fake out first because it's not a speed type.
Well, also, I believe Fake Out has a higher priority. Prankster only gives priority +1.
Yes.
So,
but Fake Out's not a status move. It has damage on it, so it doesn't actually get the priority boost.
Well, no. But I'm saying there are different priority levels. Yeah. So I believe Fake Out is priority +2. Mm-hmm. Like most moves generally have priority 0, plus or minus 0.
Yeah.
Grimmsnarl just gives things +1 priority. So I'm pretty sure Fake Out has a higher priority level. So I'm pretty sure that's why it went first. We're going to see the Steel Spike getting onto Gigalith here. Another defense boost on Sayo's side. That's definitely going to help against this Gigalith. We saw somebody had troubles with this Gigalith earlier in the night, but it seems to be walled pretty hard here.
Yeah, I mean, Duraludon's pretty bulky, and he has a double defense boost.
Despite the Intimidate and 2 defense boosts, that almost killed Duraludon. Here we go.
Well, that was a special move from Gastrodon.
Oh, a Gastrodon attack. That'll do it. All right, and we're going to see the Duraludon taken out here by the Max Quake.
So what I was saying before about the Scrafty fake out is he was faking out the Grimmsnarl fake out. I think he was assuming the Grimmsnarl was going to use a fake out there. That's why he led the Scrafty. So it was irrelevant that the fake out was going before a priority move from the Grimmsnarl, because the Grimmsnarl was going to fake out. So he sent out a faster fake out Pokemon to fake out the fake out user, and then make sure he got his Steel Spike up.
I'll be honest, I was unaware that Grimmsnarl even got fake out.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'd seen it before. All right, we're going to see the Jellicent come out from Sayo's side.
Grimmsnarl gets a lot of moves that are good. It's really, really hard to narrow down just 4 moves to put on your Grimmsnarl.
It's definitely a top-tier Pokemon in this meta. Hopefully things get taken down a notch with some of the new guys coming in. We were speaking earlier in the day about when the expansion pass comes out, how much the meta is going to change, and hopefully it levels the playing field. There's a lot of very, very high-tier Pokemon that hopefully will get taken down a notch by some of the new stuff coming in. Again, we don't have a full list of stuff coming out, but we'll hope to see.
Hopefully something that can deal with Duro. I feel like every team I build this format, I just am like, oh, how does this team deal with Duraludon? I have no idea. Like, that Pokemon's crazy. Stalwart's a crazy ability. Not being able to... redirection is such a huge part of this format.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to see a Shadow Ball go into Gastrodon, not getting the special defense drop. And then what was that, close combat?
That was a close combat from Scrafty.
And a close combat from Scrafty into the Gastrodon.
So I really like Sayo's position here. The Jellicent is going to be really, really hard for mastert1lt to take out. Even if he gets rid of the Scrafty, I think Jellicent can win a 1v2 here.
I'm pretty sure you're right. We're going to see the Scrafty go down here to a Max Knuckle. That's going to raise attack. I'm not sure it matters very much against this Jellicent. It's got quite the good typing for a defensive one.
In fact, the attack raise might even be a detriment to the Gigalith because you're probably going to see a strength sap coming out from the Jellicent. So the higher the attack the Gigalith, the more it's going to heal.
Pardon me, I got to shut my phone up here for a moment.
So I think key for the next game for mastert1lt is to bring a team that can deal with the Jellicent more accurately. I think his lineup for this round really struggles with the Jellicent.
Yeah, Sayo definitely had a good lead here. Definitely able to neuter some of the things Tilt was trying to do here in the start of Game 1. All right, we're going to see Water Spout come out. Oh, maybe not.
So the problem with Water Spout here is if he Water Spouts, it might take out the Gigalith, but Gastrodon has Storm Drain, which will negate the damage from the Water Spout and increase the special attack. So that is a way that Sayo could be in trouble here. And actually, I think the only damaging move he has on his Jellicent is the Water Spout. So if he doesn't... Oh, okay. Right. Is that a Shadow Ball from the Jellicent?
It was indeed.
Okay.
We're going to see the Gastrodon go down here. That is a pretty conclusive... oh, that does a lot of damage, though. Unfortunately, it's quite the type disadvantage here between the Gigalith and these two. I'd be hard pressed to see Tilt pull this one out as a win, but we'll see.
Well,
we'll see the Torkoal come out.
So the thing is here is last time we saw Sayo's team, he did not have Shadow Ball on his Jellicent, and that led to be a problem because he only had one damaging move on the Jellicent, and then he ran out of that move. So I'm assuming he added Shadow Ball to give a little more longevity on the Pokemon, which is going to help him out here because he can't use the Water-type move against the Gastrodon. But the Gastrodon's dead now, so it doesn't matter.
All right.
So the key here is trying to kill this Jellicent. Like I said before, it's still a key, and I think.
Well, now that the sun is up, we do know Torkoal probably has that solar beam.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see that come out. Let's see. It's a speed game right here. All right, we're going to see the Moonblast going into the Gigalith. Is it enough to kill?
No,
not quite.
So that's interesting. We see the Strength Sap into the Torkoal, which is not known as a Pokemon that has a lot of attack points for a big Strength Sap, but I think he was thinking that maybe the Gigalith would protect here.
All right, we're going to see another massive damage drop onto Sayo's side here. Whimsicott goes down from that rock slide. And Eruption from the Torkoal.
That does a decent amount of damage.
That does a lot to this. Is Jellicent normally physically or especially defensive? I don't quite know the stats off the top of my head.
It really depends on the build you want to go for. Usually it has a little bit more physical defense than special defense. But it's in the sun here, plus Torkoal does have full health, so if you can chunk the Torkoal a little bit, the Eruption won't be doing that much damage, but we do see a Strength Sap.
Oh man, that is a lot of health coming back
fully heal the Jellicent there, because like I said before, he had the attack boost on the Gigalith with the Max Knuckle, so a Strength Sap heals you equal to their attack stat, so the higher the attack stat goes, the more it heals.
Oh, that Solar Beam does a lot, but it is not quite enough.
So do we know if Trick Room is up here? No, Trick Room is not
No, it is
up.
not.
Okay.
There has been no Trick Room set this game. All right. It seems he's pretty set on this move here.
Oh, so he's going to get an outspeed here, which is pretty big. Let's see how much his attack stat still is after the first strength sap. We get another full heal. We get another full
that
heal.
move
It's
is
crazy.
so good.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to see a rock slide come out.
So we're probably going to see another... Okay, we're seeing a solar beam here.
Or, yeah, if speed was just a little bit more on this Gigalith, we'd probably he was probably hoping to see a flinch come out on the Jellicent, but that's not quite happening here.
Okay.
Now this is almost a rinse and repeat type of deal. It's it's almost I see what he's trying to do here. It's definitely he definitely has. There's no negative side effect to him doing this.
So every time you strength sap though, you're decreasing their attack stat. So as you see, it didn't heal as much here. I think the plan here is that Seo is trying to strength sap to stay alive till the sunlight runs out. So basically, what's going to happen here is we're going to see if the solar beams can kill the Jellicent before the sunlight runs out.
Yeah, he's banking on a crit now. Ooh, not
do
quite.
Do you know how many turns of sun are left?
I believe I'm not entirely sure.
So we got one more
I believe
sun,
it's
turn
one
of sun.
more.
So basically, yeah, there's one more turn of sun. So Jellicent will probably strength sap here and try to live one more solar beam.
All right.
So that Jellicent can then end the game.
I'm not quite sure. I believe going into the Torkoal is probably your best bet at this point. Gigalith is it's probably got nothing left in terms of an attack stat right now.
Well, so does Seo think that Gigalith with half of its attack stat is still higher than Torkoal?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Torkoal's attack stat is higher at this point. I mean, you have to think that it's got the denominator in the reduction in Gigalith's attack stat is just so much right now.
But then the question is
barely anything.
You have to also. I think I go for the strength sap on the Gigalith there because you have to also like assume that not only is it healing you, you also have to take into the account the amount that it's going to decrease from the next attack too. Yeah. So I think if you take that into account, probably ends up being less. But I think the solar beam is going to get the KO here and we're going to go to the next game.
Enough. That was a great. That was quite the interesting ending to that fight there. It was an interesting duel to see there at the end. So we're gonna see Seo take the loss here.
So I think this is kind of bad news for Seo here because that game looked like a game that you're just set up to win from the start. Like if the Jellicent looked like it should have been able to easily take out both those Pokemon. If Jellicent couldn't get both of those Pokemon, I don't really know what the plan is. Because that's exactly what Jellicent is on the team for, is like that exact situation. It has a spread move that's super effective on both of his Pokemon. It outspeeds them, it heals up, and it still couldn't get the job done. So, like, I think we got to see a reevaluation here.
Now we did see the outspeed from the Jellicent. I'm surprised he didn't go for that Water Spout. It definitely would have killed the Gigalith, and I'm not quite sure the Torkoal would have fared much better. I mean, it is a Trick Room Mon, so there's definitely some bulk invested. I'm not quite sure how it's invested though. There are a lot of rock, a lot of ground types in this format, so it could have it invested in its physical defense. I'm not, Torkoal's not my forte. You run a Torkoal on your team, so how do you have yours spread out?
My Torkoal has, and most. I would be shocked to see any Torkoal that isn't just 252 HP, 252 special attack, 4 and some other stat.
Right. Okay.
And
what's it? What do you know? What its defenses are?
Its defenses almost. I can actually just look it up really quick because I have a phone here. But I think its defenses is almost double its special defense.
The rule I go by when I'm making sets is, if the Pokemon has a lower defensive stat than its HP, you want to invest in that stat. If it has a lower HP than its defenses, you want to invest in HP. That's where you're going to get the largest benefit.
So,
all right, we're going to see game 2 starting up here. What?
I'm looking at Torkoal. Torkoal's defense is double its special defense. Actually, Torkoal has 140 base defense, 70 base special defense. So Torkoal's really tanky for physical moves.
That's really good. All right, we're going to see. Oh boy, this is quite the lead. Looking like we're going for some Trick Room shenanigans here. We see the Bronzong and the Grimmsnarl come out on Tilt's side. Oh no, is that correct? Did we switch? I don't remember. No switch. Okay. All right, so yep.
It's the same thing with the Jellicent in the back, but I do like the Trick Room here because I think after this game, you see that Charizard's the best option from Sayo, and Charizard's really fast, so you can get Charizard in Trick Room. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Aqua Berry on the Bronzong here, with how popular Charizard is, and if there isn't... Oh, nope, so with the withdraw there, I'm pretty sure there is no Aqua Berry on the Bronzong, and so now Sayo knows he's just safe to one-shot it anytime it comes back in.
As soon as you see that Scrafty, it's a pretty safe switch in, pretty much to whatever you want. You know the fake out's coming out on your Trick Room center.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not. And we're going to see the Gigantamax on the Charizard right here. God.
So I really personally don't like bringing Trick Room setters that can be faked out for that exact reason. Because it feels really, really bad when you try... Your entire team is just negated by a turn 1 play.
Yeah.
So again, we see there that the Scrafty is faster than Grimmsnarl, so if he was worried about the Grimmsnarl faking out something of his, he could have just faked it out first, and that's why the Scrafty comes out first.
Alright, we are going to see Wildfire come out. There is so much damage taken from that Wildfire. Even Gastrodon, a water ground type, gets absolutely nuked by that move. Definitely, there's almost no situation where it isn't beneficial to use that move.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, unless you
you got a Flash Fire.
Except this exact situation where you're going to want to one-shot it with the grass move.
That's true.
That's why Charizard has it.
That's why it gets Solar Beam, and luckily when I Gigantamaxes, you don't have to wait a couple turns.
But Charizard carries the Grass-type move literally for this situation.
Oh, yeah.
For Gastrodon exclusively.
Gastrodon is so popular in the meta right now. I've seen Gastrodon 1v3 Pokemon in this VGC format. It is so good. Just recovering Scald, recover Scald. Even if it Gigantamaxes, that special defense boost from the Earth Power when it comes into a Max Quake is so... almost necessary. Ooh, and not quite.
So Sayo got a little greedy here. So Sayo thought his didn't opt to go for the 4-time special move on the Gastrodon because he wanted the speed boost. Didn't get the KO, but it ended up not mattering.
Yeah, well, speed. The speed did get the Scrafty to get the KO. What did we see Grimmsnarl go for? I wasn't quite paying attention.
It went for a light screen.
Oh, all right. Well,
which is probably why the Gastrodon lived.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, I'd have to say that's the only reason it lived. All right, we're gonna see Gigalith come out, setting up the sand.
So, I think that if you are gonna lead Bronzong to try and set up Trick Room, you got to kind of commit to it. So maybe do an ally switch there or something to try and live a turn and get a fake out. Because when you switch out and let the Charizard get an extra turn of using a max move, it's just really, really hard to come back from that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Grimmsnarl doesn't... I don't believe Grimmsnarl gets ally switch.
No, Bronzong gets ally switch.
No, but you wouldn't be able to set up Trick Room.
No, but you don't set it up, so you know he's faking out, right?
So you ally
use ally switch, and then you just set up your screen.
Yeah.
And then you can, play a mind game with Trick Room next turn. Obviously, I think incorrectly here. Or maybe he does have the berry, but I think if you're running Bronzong in this meta, you have to be aware that Charizard is a big threat. You have to run the halving fire damage berry, and then once that's the case, you know you're living any move from Charizard, so it's totally fine to just not switch out.
Yeah, when it comes to the picking which berry to use, like there are so many amazing ground types. Bronzong does have Levitate, so I guess it doesn't really matter. There's a lot of really good ghost types in this meta, like seeing Jellicent or Dragapult come out. There are a lot of things that make a Bronzong tremble in its bell.
Yeah. So when you have to pick one of 3 berries with your Bronzong. You have to pick the Fire Berry, the Ghost Berry, or the Dark Berry.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to be Fire Berry right now. Because it's just Charizard's in every team.
More or less. I mean, it's too good not to run.
Yeah.
The stats speak for themselves. We're going to see the Grimmsnarl go down here. It lived far longer than I think it really should have.
Yeah, like I have a Bronzong on my team, and my Bronzong has a Fire Berry because I don't care about anything that's not a Charizard.
That's true.
Nothing that's not a Charizard is one shot in my Bronzong.
Yeah, that's true. Man, Charizard's G-Max move is just so good.
Yeah. Maybe and next month we might even get the G-Max solar power Charizard, and it's going to be even crazier.
God help us all when that happens. Again, I think it was a smart move to see that wasn't going to happen. We're going to see other G-Max Pokemon enter the pool when they decide to update. Which G-Maxes are allowed. So I don't know. Maybe there's something that can chunk it a bit.
Right. So we're going to see a Blast Burn from Charizard here.
That does a lot of damage.
And Blast Burn has a recharge turn after, but you use it because it gives you the most power from your Dynamax move.
Oh, definitely.
But also,
the Bronzong goes down here.
The other thing we saw is how tanky the Bronzong is. So you see there, Bronzong didn't die from that attack from Charizard, which is even further reinforcing that I think that switch out in the first turn was incorrect, because if you're committing to be a team that's going to set up Trick Room to win the game, you got to set up Trick Room to win the game. You can't just bail out of your strategy on the first turn.
Yeah, well, I don't believe the decision was an easy one to make. I'm sure there was a plan in there somewhere. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go as planned.
Right. So I think we're going to see the Scrafty here for an Intimidate.
Oh no, he opts for a Whimsicott.
The Intimidate and the Scrafty and Jellicent's kind of like a non-bow, because the Intimidate's decreasing their attack stat and you heal less with
that's true.
With the Strength Sap. So maybe we're going to try and see him get his effectiveness out of Strength Sap before he brings the Intimidate in, so that's why he opted for the Whimsicott there.
That's a pretty smart move. Again, if Whimsicott had Energy Ball or something, or even again something like, there are a lot of really heavy ground types and rock types in this format. Grass Knot is such a good move for those heavy Pokemon. I used to run it in the last generation. It nuked guys.
So unfortunately, because of Dynamax Pokemon, it's very difficult to run those moves because they don't affect Dynamax Pokemon.
I forgot. See, that's an odd choice on Game Freak's part. Definitely. I personally would have made them take more of an effect,
and it would be a nice counter to it. Yeah,
it would.
Cool.
Yeah, it would have been really cool to see at least a ×2 multiplier to a Pokemon's weight. I don't even know what you would call it. Not a stat.
For those of you who don't know, there's a couple moves, I think probably around one of each type, I don't know exactly, that do damage based on the weight of the opponent's Pokemon. And those used to be pretty relevant because a lot of Pokemon that were good were really big. But all
right, we're going to see the concede here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
let's pop into Game 3. Now, yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. There was definitely a couple...
questionable?
Yeah, I think questionable is the word I was looking for. Choices on Tilt's side of the field. But you know what? The benefit of winning that first game, it lets you take that second game to feel things out a little more, see what's good, what's not, and then that Game 3 is where you can take what you've learned and apply it. Hopefully that's what we see here.
So from John already submitted, but what I would like to see from John here is probably a Vileplume Torkoal lead, because Vileplume is going to, in Sun, outspeed the Charizard, and you can put the Charizard to sleep. And if the Charizard protects to not get put to sleep, which I think he will, the Eruption is going to take the Whimsicott down to the Focus Sash. I played Sayo before. I led with that against his team twice, and he really, really struggled to deal with that. Because when I see Whimsicott Charizard, I'm going to want to lead with that.
Yeah, well, hopefully Sayo has... He didn't quite submit yet, so... He's not going for the lead that he went against you. It seems he's learned from his past mistakes, luckily. All right, we're going to start up Game 3 here. It's a 1v1 draw.
Another thing that's noticed is we the same people are kind of playing against each other every week. So something I know, that I've noticed from playing against mastert1lt, and Sayo probably has noticed also too, is he tends to lead the same Pokemon every time. But he actually did switch it up here, and brought out the Vileplume Torkoal. Now the problem with Vileplume Torkoal into here is there's a fake out coming.
Oh, most certainly. Hopefully, you know, into that Vileplume is probably your most beneficial option. There you go. Perfect.
So we'll see the fake out into the Vileplume. Says, I don't want my Charizard going to sleep right now.
All right, he's setting up an Airstream. He wants that Vileplume gone ASAP. I can't blame him, honestly. It's not a very often used Pokemon, but we saw it twice here tonight. It's putting in work.
So the Vileplume gets a move called Chlorophyll, where it doubles its speed in Sun. It also gets a move called After You, which makes the Pokemon you target move directly after you. So if you send it out with Torkoal, Torkoal's really slow, but Torkoal sets up the Sun. So Vileplume can then, after you, make the Torkoal go really fast.
Huh?
It's going to Game 3.
Yeah.
It's a 1-1.
So 1-1.
So Torkoal Vileplume actually gives you a lot of offensive options because you can try and Sleep Powder and then get an eruption off the Torkoal if you think they're not targeting the Torkoal, but if you think they are targeting the Torkoal, you can just make the Torkoal go first before everything else because Vileplume's pretty fast in the Sun and then you get a big eruption off.
All right, we're going to see the Max Airstream come out. That does so much damage to that Gastrodon. Charizard is such a monster in this format. All right, we're going to see speeds come up and eruption. I'll tell you what, that does more damage to Charizard than I thought it was going to do, but not nearly as much as I thought it was going to do to Scrafty. Scrafty's got some bulk to it. All right, we're going to see a switch here, probably to the benefit of Seo's side here. We're going to see the Scrafty come out and the Jellicent enter the battlefield. Probably a good move on Seo's part against his current opponents. Yeah. We're going to see the Gastrodon come. Oh man, that is I believe that's a fourth damage, ground and water against a fire type move. I'm pretty sure that does. It is absolutely ridiculous how much damage that G-Max Wildfire does. At a quarter damage, it took out a third of the health from a Gastrodon. It's absurd.
Yeah.
It's absurd how much damage that move does.
Yeah, if you're looking to play Pokemon VGC right now,
with Charizard.
You start
Charizard Whimsicott.
Either start with Charizard or start with a way to make sure your entire team isn't just losing to Charizard straight up.
I think that's your best bet.
And a good way to beat Charizard, you put it to sleep.
I think this game has solidified for me that the team that I played today is absolute garbage, and that I need to
play Charizard.
I need to just play my team from last week, setting up Charizards and
the thing is too is like the Charizard ignores Focus Sashes, which is crazy.
Look at this!
Oh, it doesn't even have a Focus Sash in this Vileplume. Why have a Focus Sash? It's just gonna die anyway.
Oh my goodness! Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not gonna do very much. And then it does so much to Torkoal too.
This is not looking good.
No,
it's
not looking good for Tilt. Now I have to ask, because it seems you're going up against this brute of a Pokemon next. What's
the difference between my team and Tilt's team is that I have an Indeedee on my team, and so I don't get fake out. I can't get fake outed. What's the past tense?
Faked it out.
Faked out. I can't get faked out.
Fake outed.
So I would have sent the same lead out, but the difference is I would just immediately switch my Torkoal into the Indeedee to get the Psychic Terrain up.
Yep, the Psychic Terrain is so good.
The fake out would get negated, and then I'd put the Charizard to sleep. And then if he doesn't lead with Scrafty, then great. Whatever I want, then it's exactly what I wanted to happen happened.
All right, well, man, oh man. Well, it's good to dig into your brain a bit here before we see you play.
Yeah, so look to see that from me.
Now let's not give up on okay or not. Never mind. Right. We'll give up just as he gave up. All right, guys, we're gonna see CO go into the finals against our fellow commentator Sam. Stay tuned. So